Yes, mate, how's it going? My name's Lee, and welcome back to the FPL Punk YouTube channel, where we try to dominate FPL one game week at a time. So today we'll talk from my game week 12 team selection and highlight potential issues with my team and try to suggest possible transfers. If you enjoy FPL, please subscribe to the channel. Just a little click down below. Anyway, let's rock and roll.
Be strong.
Right, mates, first up, some information on the bottom right hand corner. My rank's gone up to 855k, about 1.1 million. I'm slowly getting those green arrows. I'm slowly increasing. Team value 102.9 million, 0.4 in the bank with 2 free transfers. Last week I did Pedro Porro to Mark Gahey. Someone like a Tyreek Mitchell never entered my thought process. I couldn't afford Anderson, I could afford Anderson, but I didn't want to go there. I felt it was better to move some money around. I opted for Mark Gahey, got the 5 points. I'm happy with those 5 points in the bank. My goalkeeping defence this week, I've opted for Areola. Looks like Matt Turner has been dropped, so I've completely gone off him. I've opted for Areola in goal at home to Nottingham Forest. Prime fixture for a clean sheet. They're not keeping a lot of cleans at the minute, but Areola's still getting save points. He's still playing, he's still starting. This is one of those games where I'm relatively optimistic of a clean sheet for West Ham, and if he does, I'll be really happy with that. The chance of them getting it, I'm not too sure. Forest have looked decent in the past few weeks, and they played really well against Villa last week, so we'll see how that one goes. But yeah, I'm relatively happy I'm relatively happy and confident of a clean sheet for West Ham, and hopefully they pull through and do get those clean sheet points. Up next is Mark Gahey, Crystal Palace defender, 4.6 mil, playing against Everton at home. Everton create a lot of chances, but Palace are at home. They've got a decent clean sheet record this season. I think they've got the most clean sheets in the league. It's 5 or 6, something like that. Everton might cause them a couple of issues, and they might create the odd chance here and there, but with Palace being at home, they're a solid defence, decent manager. They don't look great when you watch them, but they're still keeping those clean sheets and they're still racking them up. Same again, I'm bordering on the side of optimistic of a clean sheet here. I could have gone for someone like a Tyreek Mitchell, but he just never really entered my thought process. It was either, do I want to go Joachim Anderson? No, he's not worth 5.1 mil or whatever he is. And then I got Mark Gahey for 4.5. That to me just made more sense. Fair play for anyone who did go Tyreek Mitchell. He just never really entered my thought process. So I don't feel bad about that one. I don't feel like I made a mistake there. I'm still happy with Gahey as a pick, and I'm glad I did it last week. But anyone who hasn't got a Palace defender, I still think you can get on them this week. They've got a decent one of about 4 games, and if you don't have them, then I don't think it's a bad time to bring anybody in. Like if you got the likes of Romero, for instance, I think going to a Palace defender is not a bad option, to be honest with you. Matty Cash, he's not performing that well, and I think Villa are struggling a little bit just all over the pitch. Like they obviously lost 2-0 last week against Forest, and they just don't really kind of seem right. I was listening to a podcast, I think it was FML, and they were talking about Matty Cash, and he doesn't know whether he wants to attack or defend, and he's kind of in no man's land, and he's not really doing either job that well. And I think that summarises it quite well. He's not doing either job that well. He's a bit like Trent at one point, where he's trying to attack, which means he can't defend. So he's trying to defend, but he can't really defend, which then limits his attacking potential. And it's all kind of like catch-22 scenario. But this is a good fixture for Villa. They're a different team at home. They're an absolute beast at home, up against Fulham, one of the worst defences this season. I don't think they'll keep a clean sheet, but Matty Cash might get some attacking returns. He's probably one of the players that is on the chopping block to be traded out. I'm looking at someone like an Arsenal defender. I might even go double Palace defence. I could even go right down to like Lascelles at 4 million. I think any of those options are relatively good for me, and it's something I kind of need to think about over the next few weeks. How do I want my team to look in 3 or 4 weeks' time? Do I want to get cash in the bank and make sure I've got money in the bank so I can upgrade one of my cheaper players to somebody like a Saka in a couple of weeks or something like that? I have got a couple of options, and I'm not really sure which way to go right now. On to the man of the moment, Trippier, and he's just racking the points up every single week. Boom, boom, boom. Bournemouth away, prime fixture. It's a potential captain pick for me, which just sounds like it seems a bit mad, but we all saw what they did against Sheffield United, and if he gets anything near that, then we all know what they can do. Like with your prime suspects of Haaland away to Chelsea and Liverpool up against Brentford, who can be a bit stubborn at times, and Salah's not firing all cylinders. Is Trippier the one to go for? I'm not totally convinced, but he's definitely my thought process of thinking, could this guy be a captain pick? I'm probably not going to go there, and fair play to anyone who does. I don't think he's the worst pick in the world. If he keeps a clean sheet and gets a return, then he's looking at like a 12, 15 pointer. Do you know what I'm saying? So he could be in for a big haul this week. It's the reason why I picked him initially on my wild card. He just racks up those bonus points, those goal returns, and he's just been an absolute beast for me ever since I brought them in. Even the fixtures coming up, I don't think they're that bad. They've got a lot of home fixtures. They're a great home team. They've got Man United and Chelsea coming up soon. I don't see either of those causing them too many issues. I think they'll keep one clean sheet in either one of those games. Probably United, because we just can't seem to score right now. And great pick, great option. Really, really, really good fixture for Newcastle, and I think they'll cause Bournemouth a lot of problems. They'll score goals, and I'm saying again, I'm pretty confident of a clean sheet in that one as well. So overall, happy with my goalkeeper and defence. If I'm going to do if I'm going to make any transfers in defence, it would be Matty Cash to someone like an Arsenal defender, or go right down to LSLs. If you are on wildcard and you're making any transfers in defence, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking, and let me know what you think of my transfer plans this week. Right, up next we've got the midfield, and first up we've got Anthony Gordon, playing pretty well at the minute, and he was rested midweek. Bournemouth away, prime fixture. He might even play number 9. Isaac is obviously out, and it looks like Callum Wilson might have picked up a knock as well. And Anthony Gordon might play number 9 for Newcastle, and if he does, he's going to be heavily involved in the goals, which I'm really hopeful of. Great budget enabler for me. It might similar to Trippier. Great option when I brought him in on wildcard in game week 8, and he's just been an absolute beast ever since. Looks really, really sharp. He's been on great form this season. I'm really glad I picked him up. I think he'll cause Bournemouth a lot of problems. I think cause a lot of issues as well, especially if he drifts out wide, which he does like to do. Been getting some decent attacking returns this season, and I think he'll continue that up against Bournemouth. They're conceding a lot of chances, they're conceding a lot of goals, and I think Newcastle, particularly Trippier and Gordon, can exploit either of those. On to Jared Bowen, home to Nottingham Forest. Great fixture for him, and same again, I think he might play number 9. I think they need to bring Kudos in and playing right wing and push Bowen up front. Don't think it works properly for them, like in their style. They're quite direct. They like to not really have the ball, play it long, like win second balls, win 50-50s, and kind of attack from there. But I think they need to progress forward, like they need to move forward, and they need to start Jared Bowen further up the pitch, and hopefully he plays number 9 or even drops into a 10 position, and Kudos can do anything he wants. Great fixture for them. He's been very similar to Anthony Gordon. He's been in great form this season. I'm really glad I picked him up when I picked him up, and if he's still looking for a transfer right now, I don't think picking up a Barrett, someone like a Bowen, or going right down to Anthony Gordon isn't a bad pickup at this point in the season. So if you are looking for a cheaper player, I think either of those are perfectly reasonable pickups. Heung-min Son away to Wolves. I think this will be a tough game for them. I think Wolves will sit in a low block and try and hit them on the counter, and we all know that Spurs have struggled against a low block in the past few games, particularly against Sheffield United and Luton. I think this will be a similar game to that. It's at the Molineux as well, and they are a decent home side. Like, there's still quality in that Wolves team, and I don't think their league position really kind of tells the full picture or tells the true story of how good they actually are. Gary O'Neill is still a good manager. I think Wolves are going to be fine this season. They're struggling to score goals. Are they not really struggling elsewhere? And I think this will be a really tough game for Spurs. I think it'll be a tough game for Son in particular. Spurs have got a lot of potential injuries or suspensions, with the likes of Romero, Van de Ven both out. They're crucial to the way they play out from the back. Madison could be injured. Udogie got a red card. Pedro Porro might have picked up an injury, so they're kind of relying on scraps as well. I think Richarlison's also picked up a knock, so it'd be interesting to see what kind of team they line up. Like they could play Eric Dyer and Højbjerg at the back, which is asking for trouble in my opinion on the counter, like especially if they play that high line like they did against Chelsea, down to 9 men. It was just absolutely crazy. Tough game for Son. Is a potential transfer out for me, and if that was the case, I'm looking at someone like a Saka. There was some potential injury news last night. I'm hoping to get something from Arteta in the press conferences. But like we all know, he just plays Saka every single week in, week out, and I think that'd be the same again this week. They're up against Burnley this week, Arsenal. And it's a prime fixture for someone like Saka. Not really sure which way I want to go with this one. I'll show my transfer ideas at the end of this video if you want to stick around for that. Next up, we've got another Villa player, Moussa Diaby, at home to Fulham. Similar to Matty Cash, I think it's a good attacking fixture. I don't think it's a great defensive fixture for either team, really. And we're hoping Diaby can exploit that space in behind. He's not been in great form over the past few games, and I know he scored a couple of game weeks ago, but Villa just don't look like that. They don't seem to be clicking as much as I expected them to. Especially the kind of run that they've had with the likes of Luton, Forest, something like that. And they got and they've got Fulham up next. I'm not confident of major attacking returns from Diaby, but I feel like I've got more important issues in the team right now to be subbing out someone like a Diaby or transferring Diaby out. So for now, he's going to stay in the team. Not confident of anything, but what can you do? I'm going to keep him in the team for the next couple of weeks or so. On to the king himself, Mo Salah, at home to Brentford. I think this should be a really tough game, actually. I think Brentford are going to be really tight and compact. Like we all know, they create big chances. I think they'll continue to do that. I can see both teams scoring. I can see Liverpool nicking it 2-1, 3-1. I'm just hoping Salah's involved somehow. Not confident at all, really. If Darwin plays up front, he hogs all the XG. I'm hoping Jota plays up front instead and Salah's on the wing, obviously. But yeah, I'm not really confident right now. But I keep saying it, like he's like Salah of a good player. Is like you're not playing well, but you're still getting attacking returns, and that's what Salah is doing this season, week in, week out, getting those attacking returns. And you just need to stick with it and trust the process that is eventually going to return at some point. But tough game for Liverpool, tough game for Salah, and hopefully he does something. But yeah, I'm not confident, not going to lie. Onto the forwards, and first up we've got Ollie Watkins, similar to Diaby, with Watkins. Fulham at home. I'm hoping Watkins does something. He hasn't looked right the past couple of weeks. Just really hope he does something in this game. I'll still give him the benefit of the doubt. I was potentially looking at transferring him out when they play Spurs in a couple of weeks, but now they've lost both Romero and Van der Ven for that game. I'm probably going to play Watkins. Hopefully Spurs play a high line, and that they can just keep dinking it over the top to Watkins and he can run onto it. Watkins staying very central, Diaby drifting out wide. That continues. I think that'll cause Fulham a lot of issues. They are conceding a lot of XG chances, high XG chances. And if that continues, surely Watkins is going to bag one in this game, surely. Hoping he does. He's massively owned. Everybody's got him. No point talking about him too much. But yeah, I think he'll do well this week. I'm semi-confident that he's going to do something. Mr. Robot, he's back. He played midweek. He's fit. He's firing. No issues. If there was any doubt, I might have considered transferring him out. My idea is to transfer Haaland out of completely going out the window now. It's a really risky strategy. Glad I got him. Glad I didn't transfer him out when I was thinking about doing it. Potential captain this week. Chelsea are a good team, particularly at home, and I think they're a better team than probably their league position suggests. But I don't have many options right now. I either go for Watkins, or I don't have a lot of faith in. I either go for a Trippier, which captain and defenders always seem a little bit risky, or I go for someone like a Salah or a Son, but I'm not confident either of those for attacking returns. So I'm looking at someone like a Jared Bowen. How many returns can he actually get? One, maybe? I'd rather back Haaland for the one goal, and then he can maybe push on and get 2 or 3. Not great options for captaincy this week, in my opinion. I think whoever you pick, they're all going to kind of score there or thereabouts. I don't see anyone kind of going off big out of the big name players. It's going to be someone random who like nobody owns who's going to go off mad like Doku did last week. I think it's going to be another one of those where someone who nobody's got is just going to go off absolutely mad. Hopefully someone like a Diaby who's really low owned, or an Anthony Gordon, going to go mad for me. But yeah, this week I'm not confident of captaincy. Relatively happy with my team. I've got 2 free transfers. I need to do something. Not sure what to do. Leave a comment down below. Let me know who you're thinking of bringing in this week. So this is my first transfer idea. So this is my defensive transfer idea. I'm thinking of going Matty Cash to either Saliba or Ben White. Now, your first instinct might be go Saliba, he's cheaper. Yeah, but he doesn't really do anything. Like he's got 1 assist, which is in game week 1 this season. Ben White just seems a lot more involved. I feel like there's more chance of him being higher up in the bonus, getting goals, getting assists. I just prefer Ben White, but his price is putting me off a little bit. I can just about afford White, but Saliba's just that little bit cheaper, and it depends which way I want to go. Not entirely sure right now. I think I do want an Arsenal defender, and I'm probably leaning more towards Saliba, even though I think Ben White is the better pick. But in terms of price, that's the way I'm leaning. Or he's not on this list, or I'll go right down somewhere like a Lascelles. Gives me a lot more freedom in terms of money and budget, and I can really move things around over the next few weeks in midfield. That's another great option as well. It looks like Botman's going to be out long term. I don't mind playing 2 Newcastle defenders over the next few weeks. Like I said, they've got Man United and Chelsea at home over the next couple of weeks. I think they'll keep 1 clean sheet in either of those. And if they do, I think he's a decent pickup, to be honest with you. He's 4 mil, 4.1. If you want to go right down, I don't think Lascelles is a bad option, to be honest with you. On to my second transfer idea, and it's going Heung-min Son to Saka. I might do this also with cash to one of the Arsenal defenders and use up both of my free transfers. I have some reservations about Saka. I don't think Arsenal are playing particularly well. I don't think Saka's playing particularly well. They're not really utilising him in the way I thought they were going to this season. And as the season's got on, I think he's declining slightly. Like he's gotten progressively worse throughout the course of the season. Don't know if he's on penalties. He's playing so far wide. Like he's barely getting inside the box. He scored midweek in the Champions League. He picked up a knock. I really need some injury news. I need an injury update. And if there's any doubts about it, I wouldn't make this transfer. I think also with this as well, I think Son is hitting the point now where he's potentially fixture proof. You can play him in any game. Spurs create so many chances for the forward line. It just doesn't always go to Son. Whereas you look at someone like a Man City, everything funnels through Haaland. It doesn't necessarily funnel through Son right now. And with the likes of Maddison potentially being out, they don't have any back line. Is that going to cause them some issues in terms of structure and tactics? And are they going to have to move some things around? It'd be really interesting to see how they line up against Wolves and how that impacts Son's chance creation and chance conversion as well. But any doubt about it, I might just go Saka this week up against Burnley. Prime fixture for Arsenal, prime fixture for Saka. Might be the move. It might be time to go right now. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you think I should do Son to Saka this week. Right, mates, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. So today went from a game week 12 team selection, highlighted a couple of different issues throughout the team, particularly around captaincy and a few different transfers that we can do to move some budget around. And then we looked at my two main transfer ideas. It was a defensive transfer and a midfield transfer. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, leave a comment, all the usual jazz. Pretty please. Have a good day. Peace and love.